What you're about to hear might surprise you, and it might even frustrate you. Many CELPIP candidates put in a lot of effort preparing for the writing test, but still don't get the score they're looking for. It's not because their English is poor, it's because they keep making the same avoidable mistakes, and those mistakes keep pulling their score down. High-scoring candidates do things very differently. They know how to structure their response, how to use advanced vocabulary naturally, and how to give the examiners exactly what they're looking for. The gap between a low score and a high score often comes down to a few key strategies. This is the approach candidates use inside our CELPIP packages. They discover how strategic preparation can make a real difference in their results. In this video, I'll walk you through 10 essential tips for CELPIP Writing Tasks 1 and 2, so you know what to avoid and what to do instead. By the end, you'll have a much clearer picture of what it takes to write a strong response on test day. Tip number 1 is to know the scoring criteria. Before you can improve your writing score, you need to understand how your responses are evaluated. Only then do you know what to focus on. CELPIP writing uses 4 scoring criteria: content and coherence, vocabulary, readability, and task fulfillment. Each one carries equal weight in your final score. Content and coherence refers to how well your ideas are organized and developed. This includes the quality of your ideas, the number of ideas you present, and how well you support them with details and examples. Vocabulary is about the range of words and phrases you use and how accurately and naturally you use them. The examiners want to see that you can choose words that fit the context and that you avoid repeating the same words over and over. Readability means how easy it is to read and understand your response. This covers your grammar, sentence structure, formatting, transitions, spelling, and punctuation. Task fulfillment refers to how well you followed the instructions. This includes whether your response is relevant, complete, uses the right tone, and stays within the required word count. When you understand what each criterion measures, you can write with those 4 areas in mind and make choices that can help you score higher across the board. The second tip is specific to task 1. Address every bullet point. In this task, you are given a scenario and a list of bullet points. Your email must cover all of them. Missing even a single point can negatively impact your task fulfillment score. Read the bullet points carefully before you write a single sentence. Make sure your email covers each one with at least 1 or 2 sentences. Don't just mention a bullet point briefly. Develop it with a specific detail or explanation. For example, if one bullet point asks you to explain why you liked the product, don't just write, "I liked it." Instead, write something like, "I was particularly pleased with the quality of the materials, as the item has held up well even after several months of regular use." The more specific and developed your response to each bullet point is, the better your task fulfillment score can be. Another important tip for task 1 is to match your tone to the relationship described in the scenario. Tone is a key part of task fulfillment, and getting it wrong can cost you marks even if the rest of your email is well written. In task 1, always identify who you are writing to before you start. If you are writing to a manager, a landlord, or a company you don't know personally, use a formal tone. Avoid contractions, use polite and measured language, and open with a formal greeting such as "Dear Miss Smith." If you are writing to a friend, a neighbor, or a family member, an informal tone is appropriate. Contractions and casual expressions are fine in that context. The tone also affects how you close your email. A formal email might close with "Sincerely" or "Best regards." On the other hand, an informal email might close with "Talk soon" or "Take care." These details contribute to your task fulfillment score because the examiners check whether the tone is appropriate for the situation from the opening line to the closing sign-off. For example, in a formal complaint email, don't just write, "I'm really annoyed about what happened." Instead, you can write something like, "I am writing to express my concern regarding the situation and to request that this matter be resolved as soon as possible." The next tip is also specific to task 1. Use a clear email structure. A well-structured email is easier to read and it can help your content and coherence and readability scores significantly. Every task 1 email should have 3 parts. Start with a short opening that states the purpose of your email. This tells the reader immediately why you are writing. Then write the body of the email where you address the bullet points. Give each bullet point its own paragraph or group closely related points together. Finally, close with a brief statement that ends the email naturally, such as a request for a response, a thank you, or a sign-off that fits the tone. Here is an example of a strong opening for a formal email. "I am writing to inquire about the availability of the conference room on the afternoon of the 14th, as I would like to book it for a team meeting." This one sentence tells the reader what the email is about and sets a formal tone right away. Without this kind of structure, your email can feel disorganized and hard to follow, even if the individual sentences are well written. Think of the structure as the framework that holds your ideas together. Now, here is an important point. Many CELPIP candidates think that knowing a few writing tips is enough to achieve a strong result, but it is not enough. To do well in CELPIP writing, you need to understand what the examiners are looking for. For example, you need to use advanced grammar and vocabulary correctly and understand what makes a high-scoring response. That's exactly what we teach in our CELPIP packages. Our students get step-by-step guidance on how to write strong responses, so they feel confident and ready on test day. They learn how the CELPIP examiners assess their performance and what they need to do to meet the scoring criteria. Our CELPIP packages include lessons for all tasks, sample answers, mock tests, templates, and much more. Click the link below to learn more. The 5th tip is specific to task 2. State your choice clearly at the start of your response. In task 2, you are asked to respond to a survey question that gives you 2 options. You need to choose one and explain why. Many candidates make the mistake of waiting until the middle or end of their response to state their choice. This can hurt your task fulfillment score because the examiners need to see your position from the very beginning. Your first sentence should make your choice clear. For example, if the survey asks whether you prefer working from home or working in the office, you can open with, "In my view, working in the office is the better option for most employees, and I have 2 main reasons for this position." This opening tells the examiner what you have chosen. It also signals that you are going to support your choice with reasons. After you state your choice, move directly into your first reason. Don't spend time restating the question or explaining what both options are. The examiner already knows what the options are. Your job is to argue for your choice clearly and convincingly. Let's move on to tip number 6. In task 2, support your reasons with specific details. Stating a reason is not enough on its own. To score higher in the content and coherence criterion, you need to develop each reason with a concrete example or explanation that shows why it supports your choice. Many candidates write responses that feel thin because every sentence is a general statement. For example, working in the office is better because you can talk to your coworkers. It also helps with teamwork. The office has better equipment too. These ideas are not wrong, but they are not well developed. There are no details, no examples, and no explanation of why these points matter. A stronger version might look like this. One of the main advantages of working in the office is that it makes collaboration much more natural. When a question comes up or a decision needs to be made, team members can discuss it immediately rather than sending multiple emails back and forth. This kind of quick, direct communication can save a significant amount of time. It can also reduce misunderstandings considerably. Notice how the stronger version takes one reason and develops it with a specific example and an explanation of the outcome. Following this approach in your body paragraphs is a great way to improve your content and coherence score. Here is tip number 7. Avoid restating the question in your task to response. This is a very common mistake. Many candidates spend several sentences at the start of their response simply repeating the information that was already given in the survey question. This wastes your word count and can lower your task fulfillment score because it reduces the space you have to develop your actual argument. Your word count for task 2 is 150 to 200 words. Every sentence needs to count. If you use 3 or 4 sentences just to restate what the question already said, you have fewer words left to develop your reasons and examples properly. Here is an example of what to avoid. Don't open your response like this. This survey is asking whether employees should work from home or in the office. There are 2 options given. Some people prefer working from home, while others prefer the office. I am going to discuss why I prefer the office. Instead, write your position statement directly and move straight into your argument. For example, from my perspective, working in the office is the more effective option, primarily because it supports stronger teamwork and clearer boundaries between work and personal time. That one sentence states your choice and previews your 2 reasons without wasting any words. By the way, if you want this channel to keep going, write yes in the comments, click like and subscribe. We only make videos that you actually want to watch. Now, let's continue with 3 more essential tips for CELPIP writing. We'll continue with tip number 8. Use transitions to connect your ideas. Transitions are the words and phrases that link your sentences and paragraphs together, and they are important for both your readability and vocabulary scores. When you use transitions well, your writing flows naturally from one idea to the next, which makes it much easier to read. In task 1, transitions help you move smoothly between bullet points. After addressing one point in your email, you can write, "Additionally, I wanted to raise another matter that has been on my mind." You can also use a transition to close your email naturally. Don't end your final point and then simply stop writing. Instead, use a closing line such as, "Finally, please don't hesitate to get in touch if you have any questions." In task 2, transitions help you connect your opening statement, your reasons, and your conclusion. To introduce your first reason, use a phrase such as, "One reason I hold this view is that," or, "To begin with, I believe that." To move to your second reason, you can use "furthermore," "in addition," or another important consideration is, to write your conclusion, you can use "for these reasons," "in conclusion," or "taking everything into account." For example, your response can look like this. "From my perspective, working in the office is the better option. One reason I hold this view is that it supports stronger collaboration among team members. Furthermore, working in a shared space helps employees maintain a clearer separation between their work responsibilities and their personal time. For these reasons, I believe the office environment is more effective for most workers." Use a variety of transitions throughout your response rather than relying on the same one repeatedly. This can help your vocabulary score by showing the examiner that you know a range of linking expressions. The next tip applies to both writing tasks. Show a wide range of vocabulary. Vocabulary is one of the 4 scoring criteria. It looks at the variety of words you use and how accurately and naturally you apply them. Repeating the same basic words throughout your response can hold your score back. One of the most effective ways to show vocabulary range is to avoid using the same word more than once or twice. If you use the word good in one sentence, use a different word in the next, such as beneficial, worthwhile, or valuable, depending on the context. In task 1, if you are writing a complaint email and you have already used the word issue once, you can use concern or matter in the next paragraph. In task 2, if you have already written in my opinion in the introduction, you can try from my perspective or I believe when you need to express your view again. You should also try to use words that are specific and precise rather than general and vague. In task 1, don't just write the package arrived late. Instead, write something like the delivery was significantly delayed, which caused considerable disruption to my plans. In task 2, don't just write working from home is good for people. Instead, you can write something like remote work can offer employees greater flexibility and a better balance between their work and personal responsibilities. Our final tip applies to both tasks. Proofread strategically. After you finish writing your response for each task, use the remaining time to check your work for errors. This step is important for your readability score, which looks at grammar, spelling, and punctuation. When you proofread, focus on the types of errors that are most likely to appear in your writing. Common mistakes include subject-verb agreement, incorrect article usage, spelling errors in more advanced words, and punctuation in complex sentences. For example, look closely to see if you accidentally wrote "the company have decided" instead of "the company has decided." Also, check whether you have left out a comma after a subordinate clause. Don't try to rewrite large sections of your response during this step. Instead, look for small, specific errors that are easy to fix. Catching 2 or 3 mistakes can improve the overall quality of your response and show the examiner that you pay attention to accuracy. That's it! These are 10 tips for CELPIP writing. If you want expert guidance for your CELPIP preparation, check out our CELPIP packages using the link below. Our packages include step-by-step guidance, sample answers, mock tests, templates, and other useful resources to help you feel confident on test day. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you're notified when the next video comes out. Also, share this video with your friends so they can improve their CELPIP score too. See you in the next video!